Sometimes you have a series of records in Excel that tell you for a specific employee, like Bill Brown, what his timesheets were. And we want to know in which department is he. Do you realize that I keep repeating the same information over and over again? That's very redundant. It's not an efficient database. In Access, that can be done much better. So can we just plop this information into Access? You shouldn't really, for then you are not making any progress. What should Access do? Access would say this should be employee information, put that in the table employees. And this is timesheet information, put that in the table timesheet. And put this section in between in a departments table and connect them properly in Access. So let's do that. It's a little more work than you think, that's why we are doing it. I did that already, that import. So here it is, and it looks exactly the same as in Excel. How would you have done this? You go to external data from Excel, locate where your Excel file is, OK it. First row contains column headings, yes. You can even determine on each field, do you want that to be a text field or a real number or whatever. I'm skipping that for now. Don't make a primary key yet. Let's do that later on manually and give that thing a name. I'm going to say Excel import, and I finish it. I close that one, and there is the Excel import. It's exactly the same as the other one. So what are we going to do now? We are going to put whatever is in this table in 3 different tables. So let's make a copy of this one. Control select it first, Control C, Control V. And let's call this departments. Do that again, Control C, Control V. Let's call that employees. And do that again, Control C, Control V. And let's call that timesheets. So now we have to fix those a little bit. Let's start with the simple one, copy of departments. There is a lot of information in there that you don't want there. So let's take out all the employee information, delete, yes, and all the timesheets information, delete, yes. This is what we got so far. I know it's still redundant, we'll fix that later with a query. Then we do something similar for employees. We don't want the timesheet information, we don't want the department, but please leave the department in there, otherwise I have no idea anymore in which department was that employee, so don't delete too much. This is what we got so far. So I know in which department they are. There is redundance, but we will fix that later. Then copy timesheets. Timesheets, we don't want the department's information, of course. We don't want the employee information, but please leave social security number in there. Otherwise I have no idea later on anymore who that was that owned that timesheet. Okay. This is what we got so far. It looks already much better. Now we have to get rid of duplicates, and we have to save all of that in a table. We do that with a query, query design, based on a copy of departments. Okay. And we are going to put in there each field. This is what we got so far. It's still very redundant. So we are going to use the famous totals button that makes it a totals query that says group by, group by, group by. And notice that all your duplicates are gone. Let's save this in a table. This is not a table yet. Design, make table, and let's call it TBL departments. Okay. Don't forget to run this now, for this is an action query. And there is your table. I'm going to delete this query, I don't need it anymore. The table department has everything we want. Then we are going to do something similar with a query for the copy of employees. We want every single field Why am I not doing this with the asterisk? Because then I cannot do group by. Design, totals, group by, so we have no replica anymore. Okay, and store this in a table. This query, we use another make query, TBL employees. Okay, don't forget to run it. Done. And finally we do something similar with the last guy. Create a design, query design based on timesheets. Put every field in there. Totals. And make a table. TBL timesheets. Okay. And don't forget to run. So now we have our 3 tables ready. Table departments, table employees, table timesheets. Now we have to put in the table departments a new field with a department ID. Make that an auto number. Access is going to do the work for you. Duplicates okay? No. This is what we got so far. Accounting is 1, finance, etc. Do something similar for table employees. We need an employee ID in there. Employee ID. Of course an auto number again. Let the machine find that number automatically, but don't accept duplicates, of course. And while we are here, we are also going to add a department ID. But that is based on an existing department number in the other table. So don't make it an auto number, it has to be a number. Duplicates okay, and I take the default value out. This is what we got so far. These are the employee numbers. This column, this field is empty. We are going to fill that later on with an update query. And then we have a similar problem with table timesheets. I don't need a timesheet ID in there, but I do need an employee ID from the other table. Again, not an auto number. It was an auto number in the other table, so here it should be a number. Duplicates okay, take the default value out. So this is what we got so far. The problem is that this field is empty, so we have to fill that soon. Okay. How do we fill those fields? We do that with a query again, an update query. Query design based on the table departments and the table employees. We have to make sure that there is a connection between those two. This department is going to look in that department, and based on that connection we can fill in this department ID. So we are going to update that field. Make it an update query. Update to from the other table, that is TBL departments, dot the department ID. This is an update query, so it has to be run. 15 rows are going to be updated. I don't need that query anymore, so I don't save the changes. Then we have to do something similar for the employee ID. We need the employees table for the primary key and the timesheets table for the other one. Remember, the connection between those two is, and that's why we did it, is the social security number field. So now I can fill out this employee ID, make it an update query, and update it to table employees dot the employee ID, and run it. I don't need that query anymore. Save the changes. No, this is what we have so far. I'm going to the relationships window. Going to say show me the 3 tables we want to connect. And here are the connections. So now we are going to make a connection between these two and force referential integrity, and between these two and force referential integrity. Okay. We can get rid now of this word department and that field social security number if you want to, but you don't have to. Save the changes. Yes. So in tables employee, I'm going to undo the social security, the department field. We don't need that anymore. So now we have the following relation. To show you that everything is working fine, we are going to collect information from all 3 tables. And I take all the fields from departments, all the fields from employees, and all the fields from timesheets. And this is what we got. It's basically the same what you had in Excel, but this is a much more intelligent one. It shows you only what it needs to show. You can get rid of the department IDs and all those numbers if you want to, because we don't need those in Excel, but in Access you do. I'm not saving that query. I want you to know that there is much more to Access that you are probably not familiar with. I created a CD-ROM that does all of this for you. It shows you how to do all of this. You can find it at genesispc.com. You can find an overview of all my videos at www.genesispc.com, and you click on the button videos on YouTube, and you get a complete listing of all the videos I created for you on Excel, on Excel VBA, on Access, Access VBA, and VB script tips.